I've spent the last year putting the pieces of my life back together after I lost everything in my 6-figure marketing business. Yeah, I loved that agency. And now I'm taking my decade plus of traditional marketing experience, combining it with the latest online marketing techniques and starting again from scratch. The question is, how will I do it? With the new challenges like cash flow, debt, and no team. This podcast is here to give you the answer, so join me and follow along as I apply and share marketing strategies to grow my online business using only the simplest, most uncomplicated methods. My name is Samantha Gooden, and welcome to Marketing Launch Radio. Welcome to Marketing Launch Radio. Ooh, yeah. So today I've got Kameron Snow with me. Okay, so first off, don't be afraid. This is not Jon Snow. However, he does have the power to save us all from the fear of copywriting. Dun, 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 dun. Please help me welcome Kameron Snow.
That was completely unexpected as an introduction in every way. Whoa. Okay. All right. The energy is here. This is Cam Bam, the copy man, coming at you live from California. And yeah, we're going to slay some copy demons, harness the marketing beasts.
Oh, please.
Yes, so and pave a path to profit.
Please do. Please. I just love that path to profit, slay demons. I love the whole thing. Kameron, why is copy so scary for us? Like, it feels like it really is like one of those demons, one of those gremlins that seems to come out of nowhere, and we all have to do it in marketing.
Yeah, let's just dive right in and launch the beast, right? Yeah, I mean, so copywriting, like, don't think of it as like this big scary thing. Copywriting is just communication. And so, like, when we get into communication, we're communicating with other human beings. So our fear is never really of copy. Our fears are coming from probably childhood wounds. Your body's trying to protect you from things that are perceived to be scary. But because copywriting is marketing, and because it's sales focused, we get all sorts of gooey human emotions mixed in there of our own stuff, like the fear of delivering the results, the fear of being seen. Those are probably the two biggest ones, honestly. The fear of being seen is really tough because it's like that brings up your imposter syndrome. So all this head trash starts going when you sit down and you're staring at your blank screen and you're thinking, okay, I got to write a post and I want it to and I want to generate some leads. And then you get stuck and you sit there for 2 hours staring at that blinking cursor, wondering what could you possibly say that could get somebody to reach out. And your mind
story of my life right now. The story of my life. So in complete and full disclosure, right, just before coming on here, I've been preparing a post. And this post is a really special post. I can usually get through them pretty quickly, but this one I've been working on like almost all day. And I don't know how far down I've gotten. It's like, oh, but I want them to feel this. Oh, but I want to say this. There are just so many thoughts that go through our heads. How have you kind of gotten into this world of copy? You're like the copywriting guru. You know what happened? Yeah. So someone actually told me the other day, Samantha, people don't like to use the word guru anymore. They like to use the word expert. But since I'm talking to a copywriter and we understand the multiplicity of meaning and understanding, I am actually coming directly to you. This is my march all the way to Mecca to say, hey, Kameron, tell me how you got here and tell me how we can get here too.
All right, multiplicity of meaning all the way to Mecca. Got it. Alliterations. We're here for it. Yeah, let's just give a background. We'll come back to like fear slaying. So I spent 6 years in politics before I got into the internet marketing world. Oh, you didn't know that, huh? Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I spent 6 years in politics. I was a political ghostwriter. I was a political operative, meaning I did just a bunch of different things.
Wow.
I went dumpster diving to get dirt on our opponents one time. I stole a yard sign, which is like really illegal. I could have gone to jail. I know it sounds like super dangerous, but I stole a yard sign. I mean, it's really not that crazy. And I worked for an elected official. I kind of like I sampled all of the jobs in politics. In 2015, I was like, all right, I'm going to get serious. And I got serious because my boss pulled me aside and was like, hey, Cam, yeah, I've just been feeling like you've been super depressed at the office and it's affecting everyone. Like, not in those words, but it was the first time that someone was like, hey, like, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, oh, well, gee, no one ever asked me that before. So I thought about it and I was like, I want to be a chief of staff for U.S. Senator. That's like my 10-year goal. We're going to do it. I'm going to be in Washington, blah, blah, blah. Maybe a year later, so I started going on that trajectory, started working for an elected official, getting experience on that side. And then there's this guy, internet marketer dude named Scott Oldford, who posted on Facebook saying he was hiring for a marketing assistant. I was sitting on my couch. Carla was sitting next to me. I saw the post on Facebook and I was like, wouldn't that be funny if I applied for that? Can you imagine me not being in politics? And Carla gave me that look. Like, I was like, you know what? I should apply. I should do it. I'm going to do it. Just to see. So I applied for it, went through a ridiculously rigorous job application process, landed in there. Scott figured out I could write within a few weeks, and I just became the writer.
Wow.
And I had already been doing copywriting as a freelancer, but because I was a ghostwriter, like I was able to match his tone like fast. And so within a few months, he couldn't tell what he wrote and what I wrote.
Wow.
And over the next few years, like I wrote all the emails, wrote all the pages, wrote all the sales pages, all the webinars. And we made like $10 million in like 3 years.
Oh, not a big deal. Just 10 million.
Yeah, just drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
And so from there, after Scott and I decided, after he kind of like went a different direction with his business, I went off on my own last year. And now I help entrepreneurs like yourself take all that sales skills knowledge and put it into content that converts to create a consistent, predictable system for like converting leads. I'm the conversion guy. I can help you craft that message and put it in front of people where they go, yeah, yes, please. Like some of that. That's what we do.
And this is what brings us to this pilgrimage to the Mecca where you are, O Guru One, because many of us can. So first off, most people have a fear of writing. And I think the fear of being seen and the fear of being heard is huge because as entrepreneurs, what we're writing about is ourselves, and the ability to detach ourselves from our product and from our message, or to think of ourselves as employees in our own business, is one of the most difficult things to do. So it feels like, oh, I'm blowing my own trumpet and I'm telling people about these great results. It has a way of not feeling quite right.
Yeah.
So how do we do that? Like, how do we actually start writing about the stuff that's important to us to get us these consistent leads?
Yeah. There's kind of like, I'm thinking about it right now, and this might be a new framework I'm coming up with in the moment.
Yes.
But I'm thinking about this in two kind of spectrums. One is like there's a personal kind of side to this, and there's like everything that happens before the sale. And I feel like that there's a lot of that junk that gets in there. And then there's like the stuff that comes after you've offered your thing and the kind of closing. So for me personally, as a copywriter, like if you hand me the product, if you hand me the offer and you're like, cool, here's what it is, here's what it does, here's all the testimonials, here's all the proof, all the amazing lives that have been changed. I'm like, cool. I go and plug it into my system and like I can just write for days.
Yeah.
When you come into the other side of like the nurturing, that's where like you got to get deeper into the psychology of your buyer and what beliefs they already have that you need to counter before they even get to the offer. And I think a lot of us in the entrepreneurial space, we get caught up in all of the stuff of like the writing, the copy that comes before we ever even offer the sale. The number one problem, myself included, and I got to catch myself on a daily basis, the number one problem for any online entrepreneur is that they don't ask enough.
So, yes. This week. And that's one of the things that's in this particular post that I'm doing is the asking. Because if you want to double your offers, you're going to double your sales. But if you're not asking, you're not going to receive. Okay. So it sounds then that you're saying that there's a difference between the nurturing copy, right, which is keeping those browsers just, I suppose, attentive to what's happening in our lives and our businesses, versus the sales copy, which brings them in. It actually does the, hey, come sign here on the dotted line, right?
Yeah.
Sounds like there's a difference between that.
There is. And I think that for your audience specifically, and people who are listening to this, the difference between those really just puts into focus the big problem, which is the offer. Having something to sell and knowing what the results are, knowing what the problem you solve is, knowing who it's for. All of those pieces, when you have clarity on what the offer is, your marketing gets really simple. Really, really simple. We spent a lot of time head spinning around like, who's the avatar? What's the offer? What am I going to say about the offer? Who are these people? Do they even exist? Do people spend money? Does marketing even work? Right? And you just go down the spiral and you're like, well, it works for everyone else, but
this work for me.
Snowflake.
Yeah.
I'm the magic snowflake. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, totally get that. Oh, so if we've gone through, and the listeners here on this podcast, they pretty much believe in marketing. They may not know how to use it or how to get it working for them, but they've seen that it works. So they believe in marketing, and they know that copywriting is a powerful way to express yourself. Okay, now I know that. What do I do, Kameron?
Cool. Let's talk about the PAYS method.
Woo!
Okay, so the PAYS method, I mean, this is audio, so we don't have like a graph here, but I would draw you a graph. And I'll give you the link so you can show me.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
The PAYS method is something that I developed after writing $10 million worth of copy and basically simplifying down to a set of principles. So there's a very subtle difference between messaging and copy. When we talk about copywriting, we're basically talking about messaging just in the written word.
Mm-hmm.
So messaging has 4 main components that your copy is built on. And it's PAYS, problem, avatar, you, and the solution. And that's both PAYS. Yeah. And basically when you have clarity on, okay, number 1, what problem do I solve? Cool. What is the problem? And that immediately takes you into avatar, because now it's a question of like, okay, well, who has this problem? Right? So let's say we're helping people generate more leads. Okay, what is the problem? How long has the problem been going on? What's the problem costing them? What happens if they don't solve the problem? And as we get deeper into like all the aspects of this problem, we're just doing like sales, but in our copy. So we start with the problem. Now here's where a lot of people in their copywriting will get stuck or lost in terms of like why it's not getting traction and attracting the right leads. The problem, so imagine you've got like a graph, like a y-axis and an x-axis, right? Vertical and horizontal lines. At the very top says avatar, very bottom says you, and then on the left side says problem, on the right side is the solution. And we've got this spectrum. The avatar lives above the line. This is an old rule from political messaging. I learned you always start above the line. Basically, the avatar is walking through their life. And let's say they wake up on a Monday, they look at their calendar and there's no sales calls. Oh my goodness, I have a problem. There's a severe lack of sales calls. And the pain points of like, oh yeah, bank account, got to pay for food, got to buy insurance, all this stuff, all the things, right? I'm like, okay, well, what's the problem? Well, I don't have enough leads. That's my problem. I don't have enough leads. Okay, fair enough. Then they go and they look for a solution.
All the way on the other side. They're still above the line to the other side. They're looking.
They're walking towards the solution, but it is the wrong solution, Sam, because they don't know any better. And it's the wrong solution because they are operating from the presented problem. Like, I don't have enough leads. So I'm going to go spend money on Facebook ads. I'm going to go build a funnel. I'm going to go post in a bunch of Facebook groups. I'm going to go reach out to people I don't know. Awkward cold outreach, building funnels, Facebook ads, top 3. Okay. And maybe that if you're a unicorn, maybe that'll work. But for most people, they're going to waste a lot of money on Facebook ads. and the awkward cold outreach is going to be awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And the complicated funnel is not going to work. Now, why is that? Why is that? Well, it's because leads is not the problem.
Yeah.
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is probably offer, what you're actually selling, and how you're talking about it. Mm-hmm. Because like, if we say, oh man, I just need more leads, and I go and take a Ferrari, let's say I'm selling a Ferrari, and I'm like, I need more leads for my Ferrari. How hard do you have to work if you put a Ferrari out there and say, hey, it's only $3,500? It works. Everything's fine. Like, come on, people are like lining up, assuming they believe you. But if you have a old beat up, Cadillac or some other terrible car, like, yeah, this is a $350,000 car. How hard are you going to have to work for leads? Very hard. So we can help you get a lot of leads, but are they the right leads? Are they the leads that are actually going to buy? Are they kind of, you're actually going to enjoy working with? Mm-hmm. So like that nuance, once you start digging into that, you realize, oh, maybe there's actually a different problem. Maybe there's an offer problem. Maybe there's a messaging problem. Mm-hmm. And you as the expert get to come in and be like, hey, it's not actually leads. Like if we get down to it, like your offer just is built the wrong way. And you brought them below the line to where you are the expert. And you're like, yeah, I'm showing you clarity. In your content, you have to start where they're at. You have to talk to them about their experience of like, oh man, like I should try a funnel. I should, right now, coronavirus, ads are cheap. I should probably go and buy ads. Really? Maybe? I don't know. Let's dig into it. Let's get clarity on the real problem. And then you can bring them to the right solution. Once they implement the right solution, they get breakthrough and they get to what they actually want, which is their outcome, whatever that is. More leads, 20K months, whatever.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So this is great. I love what you've said here. I've actually been writing notes. I tried drawing the quadrant document, but I don't think my drawing went quite well. I've got the P and the S, P on the left and the S on the right. And then I wasn't sure what was supposed to go into the other quadrants.
Avatar at the top, you at the bottom. And then it's kind of like, because you got the problem, you got the presented problem and the real problem on the left side. And then you've got the wrong solution and the right solution on the top and the bottom on the right. We bring them above the line. We bring them down and through. Get the cycle of success. The outcome.
Oh, I love it. Love it. Love it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So what stood out to me is starting from where they are.
Yep.
And in order for us to do that, we have to have a very clear sense of, well, what's the journey that they've been on before they even got to us? Yep. Would you recommend that in our copy we should be using their language, using tribal language, or is it okay for us to just, I suppose, whip it up out our heads?
Yes.
Yes, and yes.
So here is the big, actual, probably legitimate secret about market research and using your audience's words. Yes, use your audience's words because that's how they relate to things. For example, I had this copywriter friend who was talking about how initially she's like, I want to help people generate leads. So here's a piece of content, go and create a lead magnet. And it wasn't getting any traction. And she was talking to bloggers. And she realized that the tribal language for lead magnet, which is an opt-in, any kind of thing that you give your email address for, their tribal language was freebie.
Oh,
here's how to create a freebie. Boom, traction. Right? So it's like, if you're talking about something that you don't know, it's just completely, it goes right over their head. If I told you, hey, the key to reducing stress is activating transient hypofrontality, would you have any idea what I'm talking about?
I wouldn't. However, I would probably geek out on that term and then I'd want to know what it is and then just be it.
Yeah.
But most people
wouldn't.
There's a
time and a place where I use that.
Yeah.
But that's what happens when you do breath work.
Yeah. Oh, that's phenomenal. Okay. So I get it. So use tribal language. What happens if I don't know what my tribe says?
Ooh, okay. So before I get there, the big secret. what happens is people will be like, oh, I got to use my audience's words, and they'll just kind of like feed it back to their audience.
Yeah.
Important, big caveat though. You have to understand what they're actually saying underneath the words. What's the emotion underneath what they're saying? If you just feed back the words without understanding what they're really communicating, then you're not actually meeting them where they're at. So like the example I like to give here is, let's say you put up a audience research question in your Facebook group. Like, what's your biggest struggle, getting paid what you're worth? And one person comments and says, I just don't know where to find clients. Okay. Next person comments and says, I feel like I've tried everything. I've posted in Facebook groups. I've reached out in cold in Messenger. I've offered free strategy sessions every single day for the last 2 months. I haven't gotten anywhere. I just like don't know how to get more clients. Those two people are actually telling you different things.
Mm-hmm.
The first person, we don't actually really know what they're telling us. Like, I just don't know where to get clients. Okay, like, what does that mean? The second person is very clearly telling us, I'm overwhelmed, lost, and frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you go back and using some of her language, what you're talking about, have you feel like you've been like DMing people every single day with no results? Do you feel totally overwhelmed by this process? Now you're connecting, and you're helping them understand, yes, I feel overwhelmed. It's like you kind of have an illustration of what it tangibly looks like. You're logging into Messenger and you're judging everyone in your inbox because you're like, well, they couldn't possibly be a lead. They couldn't possibly be a lead. They couldn't possibly be a lead. And then you found that you spent 2 hours and you haven't done anything.
Oh yeah, just hearing just the way that you talk, because your ability to take us into the actual experience, for me, is what's also making a big difference here. And I find that I sometimes forget that part of it, right? Mm-hmm. So something that keeps me grounded and connected to, oh my goodness, what could my potential clients be feeling, is I go back through some of my journals and feel the fear and emotions that I used to journal when I didn't understand A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then while you were talking, you use these words, which are they're like great word pictures for me, like going through and judging the potential leads in your messenger, say they could never be a lead kind of thing. Yeah. But also like in my space, and I find this happens with copy, that copy that may not generate hundreds of likes and stuff is actually pretty effective, because the people who buy have never commented on any of my posts, and may not ever have liked any of the posts. Mm-hmm. So I find sometimes I'm even judging my own copy and my own content by likes. I have to snap myself out of that. So how do we know that what we're writing is being effective?
So there is kind of like that distorted reality effect when you're on social media.
Yeah.
And there is a slightly different approach, and it really does make a difference in terms of what you're trying to accomplish. You're like, am I writing for engagement, or am I writing something that I know my audience needs right now, but it's not going to get any engagement? Perfect example of two posts would be like, hey, here's a comment for value posts. Like, here's do you want this training? And you get like 30 or 40 people are like, yeah, I want the training on how to get 6 figures, right? Yeah. Versus like a testimonial post or a results post. Typically results posts and testimonial posts, like on social media, they don't get a lot of engagement, but they're effective.
Yeah. So it's huge that you said that. Some podcasts ago, I actually told my audience about that. And the post was very simple. It may have had 4 lines and a short video clip, but the single testimonial post, maybe it got 2 likes, maybe, but I got 4 leads from that and generated a high ticket client sale out of it, just like that, right? Yes. And I was like, because so if I had been judging it only by likes, I would have felt like a total loser, but it performed. So it sounds like you're saying we are going to know how effective our posts are just based on the results.
That's the only way to tell. especially with social media. And like, there's a different kind of tracking game when you're using paid traffic.
Yeah.
And you can actually see like, okay, how many people clicked this link? How many people went to the landing page? When you're able to have tools that measure things like that, that's really useful. When you're just using social media, you don't have those tools unless it's like in a group and you've got analytics and stuff. But even then, it's not as robust, not even as good as like email. Because like an email, you can still track when people click links and open rates and stuff. And open rates are never, ever the metric to track. It's always
goodness, yeah. All right, cool. So something that you said, and I'm just putting this down. We need to know the reason behind the post. If it's for engagement, having tons of people like it is great. Even if they're not, there may be something wrong. But if you know that you're putting a post out there because it's something that your audience needs to hear, you don't judge the, I suppose, the performance of the post on that. That's the wrong reason to judge it.
Yeah.
So a big secret, it sounds like, is, and I suppose it's not a big secret, but you actually have to write and put something out there. If you don't make the offer, if you don't put it out, nothing's going to happen.
Yes. I would say, especially for your audience, based on what we've talked about, like a lot of this copywriting stuff, it's a spectrum, but there's a starting point. And the starting point like is sometimes just start posting. That's the scariest part too. Just start putting some stuff out there. That's like, for me, my Achilles heel with social media copy, to be totally transparent, is that I tend to want to just post more personal stuff. I want to post just like emotional feel-good stuff, and I'll forget about making my offers.
Yeah.
We're talking about like, it's a problem for everyone, even when you know all this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I am 100% with you on that. I would like to share this and then kind of get your opinion on it, because my own weakness that I've been working on is how to shift the content of the copy so that it's also kind of expert oriented. You and I have spoken about this before, and that it feeds in, it helps people understand that you are the authority in whatever you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Versus the feel good. So I'm a natural inspirer. I just like to, encourage people and help them to feel inspired. But that doesn't necessarily get leads through the door, and it doesn't necessarily get me clients, because I'm just making people feel good. I actually have to take them either into their pain or I have to make the offer. So I feel that way. I feel that way too. If there's someone who's stuck right now, they know they need to start, but they haven't been able to start, what would you say? What are the tips there, Kameron?
Yeah. So let's get a little more tactical, a little more tangible. So, we talked about the PACE method, and the PACE method is really useful in nailing your message. What are you saying that's going to get someone to get you to work with them, get them to work with you? In terms of like copywriting frameworks, it's like you approach, okay, I need to write a post. I want to get attention, and I want to funnel someone to a call to action. Okay. I just came up with a formula last night named after my favorite character in cinema, Ace Ventura. Yep.
I can see that. I can so see you as Ace, though.
Yeah, Ace Ventura. Alrighty then. So it's Ace BA. Ace BA is what it is. Ace BA. Ace badass. We're gonna go with that. I couldn't really, massage the words into something different. I wanted to do Ace PD, like Ace Ventura Pet Detective, but whatever. Anyway, so Ace stands for attention. Attention. C is claim. E is, what is E? I just came up with this last night. So
it's fine. I love this. So if you're watching, if you're not watching the video, you're listening to the audio of this, you need to go find the video of Kameron.
Oh, I know. Evidence. That's it. I changed it from proof to evidence. That's what it was. Yeah, to fit Ace. That's what it was.
Cool.
Yeah. And then what was BA? Man, this is bad.
No, it's fine. It's a new framework. I just love that we're getting this hot off the press.
Attention, claim, evidence, benefit,
Benefits. Okay, cool.
action. I should make sure I write this down somewhere. Attention, claim, evidence, benefit, action. So this is a sales framework. Okay, so if you want someone to, and you can use this for any kind of action. Let's say that you want someone to comment, or you want someone to book a call for your coaching, or you want someone to like click through and buy a masterclass. Okay. So attention, something to get their attention. Now this is always frustrating in copywriting because it's like, cool, what is that? Well, there's a couple ways to like get attention with your headline. Like one is starting with pain, like a really tangible pain point. Like, hey, are you finding yourself hate scrolling the newsfeed right now? Right? Like, ooh, okay, yeah, maybe. Just something super relevant to their experience. Something like shocking and unexpected, like, I don't know. I know. I do know because I use this. Want to know how we collected $37,000 in cash with a simple email framework with a market that can't even go to work right now?
Ooh.
Right. So it's like something like unexpected, some result that's like out of the ordinary, something painful that's like, ooh, yeah, okay, I'm paying attention, or something that they want that kind of goes in with the outlandish benefit, $37,000, right? Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Something I want that, right? So that's the attention. And then like bring it into making a claim, like, and in this case, we'll just go with this example. I haven't even written this post. I'm writing it in my head right now. It's like the claim is the claim would be like, we collected $37,000 in cash, and you can too with this simple email framework, right? And like I would probably have something like, I'm not promising that you can make that amount of money, but you can use this to generate leads. You can use this to make sales, right? And then the evidence, you're like, okay, now we've made a claim. Cool. It's possible to make $37,000 with an email sequence. We're going to prove it. I know this is true because we just did it last week with my client who like ran this promotion within a market that can't work. Okay, so anytime in copywriting where you make a claim, you have to prove it somehow. The best proof is like testimonials and like real results. Sometimes you can pull in outside facts from like a reputable source. But you just want to keep track of like, oh, I just made a claim and like a little bit of proof. Cool. According to Tony Robbins, an authority quote, something that proves and adds credibility to the claim. So that's evidence, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's evidence.
Mm-hmm.
Claim.
Mm-hmm.
Benefit is, now we're going to say, okay, cool. This is going to help you by empowering you to create your own instant offer email sequence that you can send your list and generate leads in the next 24 hours. I'm making all of this up as I go. It's amazing. Mm-hmm. And then action. If you want to get this benefit, then sign up for the training below. So that's like, and I can take that framework and I can add as much meat as I want to each of those sections, or I can strip it down so that it's literally just those 5 lines.
What I love about this, because I listened to you, and I've been here writing notes, and I'm like, gosh, this is actually a really short way to write an offer post, which is direct and to the point, still attention grabbing, because I told you I have a post that I'm working on, right? So if you were to look at if you were to look at like the quantity of the post, 11-point font, 8.5, A4 size paper, it would probably take up 2 sheets of paper. Now those posts work, but they're not posts that I think you should do all of the time. I'm liking this because this just allows me to go straight to the point. and get into it. I'm actually going to use this framework right after this, whatever.
Yes.
And I'll tell you what the results are.
Yeah, and then you keep a testimonial, and I'll use it in my post.
No, exactly. And that's the way the world goes round.
Yep, pretty much.
Okay, so the claim, here's another thing. So I've been encouraging my clients who are about to, like, if they're going to do a course, they're launching a course and they're doing it, but maybe they don't have testimonials yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they're having a challenge making strong claims. The evidence, yes, you can get third-party evidence, and maybe you can use some of your own personal experience, but the actual claim part of it is difficult. Do you have any way around that, or anything you can replace that part with?
Well, if you're just starting, so the claim is like the promise, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just starting out and you don't have like a ton of results yet, the claim would just be like this offer post would be around like doing a strategy session to help somebody have some kind of a breakthrough that you can get a testimonial for. Right? Just like adding value of like, hey, this is what I know. Let's get on a strategy session. By the end of the strategy session, and here's where the fear of results is going to come in. Because it's like, well, I don't want to promise something I can't deliver. Cool. Well, this has nothing to do with you. It really doesn't. Like, it seems like it's all about you, but it's really all about, hey, I have this gift and I'd like to give it to you. This requires a little bit of personal reckoning around the fact that you've got gifts, the fact that you can and should share them, and that when you're talking about, hey, I just want to give back, I'm opening up my calendar for 20-minute strategy sessions, and whatever the thing is that you do, it's like, hey, you'll leave this 20-minute call and you'll have crystal clarity on your patterns of self-sabotage that have kept you stuck and unable to achieve the results that you want. Right? There's always a purpose for it, and it's a benefit for the reader. It's a benefit for the person who's signing up for that call. So that's like bare bones basics of an offer, and basics of copywriting, basics of selling, like what's in it for them.
And do we, would you recommend that we use the ACE-BA framework in that exact order?
Yeah, and you can switch it around, but this is a pretty simple way to do it.
Okay.
It's already laid out in a pretty linear way.
Yeah.
Like I might switch claim, evidence, or benefit around because that's kind of the guts of it. And this is just one framework. There are a ton of frameworks that you can use.
So the other thing that I'm learning as I go through and share frameworks with my clients is, because I'm a super duper creative person, like I could turn ACE-BA all upside down, but it sometimes becomes very confusing, right? So having a framework that you can lean on and know that it works is great. And so I'm going to use ACE-BA. So my commitment to you is I'm going to use ACE-BA to actually simplify the offer process, which I've been working on the whole day. I've just put something out there and see actually what happens and come back to you with a testimonial on this for sure. And if you are listening and you decide to use ACE-BA, I'd love to hear from you. So please, whether it's in the reviews, the comments, come find me on Facebook. Go find Kameron. I'm going to tell you where you can do that. And also share your feedback with him, because this is what helps us all as entrepreneurs. It helps us improve our frameworks so we can help more people. Where can we find you, Kameron?
Yes. The Grammy vocals. So I live on Facebook, Kameron Snow, Kameron with a K, and my Facebook group is Conversion Copywriting and Messaging for High Performing Entrepreneurs.
Yes, please.
That's the Facebook group.
Yes.
And you can join that, and you can get a PDF download of the PAYS method, and it'll walk you through all the things that you need to know to decode what your audience is telling you, so that you can attract more of your perfect leads to become your favorite clients.
Can I just say that all of a sudden you sounded like this amazing marketing announcer? Can you give us the name of your Facebook group one more time, please?
That is Conversion Copywriting and Messaging for High Performing Entrepreneurs, Sam.
Thank you very much. Conversion copywriting.
Yep.
High performing entrepreneurs. Okay, cool. Cameron, it looks like if you he's got his dukes up. He's got his dukes up.
Yeah.
It looks like there is a very, very special link that you'd also want us to share here. You have some kind of opt-in that you want all of us to know about.
Yeah, it's actually the same. It's the same thing. The Pays method. So if you join the Facebook group, you can drop your email in one of the questions as you join, and it'll get emailed to you. Or you can go to the landing page link.
Okay, awesome.
It's the same thing.
So both links are going to be inside of here, guys. So just check out the notes for this podcast, and that information is going to be there. Cameron, before you go, this has been phenomenal. If you can, you probably can't see. I still haven't gotten the lighting right so people can see. But I've drawn my quadrants. I put the Pays method. I've got all these notes here. The big question is, what? So I actually didn't say this before. Kameron is Carla's husband, right? So for those of you who listen to Kameron Snow's podcast, this is the Kameron that she spoke about so well, her amazing husband. So I preface that by saying, if you were stranded on a desert island, it was you alone, nothing else, no Carla, no nothing, and you needed one thing to be happy, what would it be?
I think Carla got the questions first, and we were discussing this question because the first thing that my mind goes to is like desert island, nothing else. Well, I'm going to need a knife. Like that's, I'm happiness. Like I'm thinking about like surviving, and I mean, a knife is the most versatile survival tool, right? So I'm like, okay, I need a knife because I can make a board game. I can make fun things with a knife. I'm also an Eagle Scout.
Oh, wow. Yeah. So a knife, I can see how a knife would be really important for you.
Yeah, exactly. Like technically the Boy Scout, like everything you need would be like knife, some rope, right? Matches, like your starter kit. Well, actually not matches, flint and steel would be more effective, but whatever. I digress.
So is your final answer a knife? Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm not bringing a DVD player. I mean, that would actually literally be useless because, I mean, a laptop, maybe a Wi-Fi connection, a cell phone that works, maybe. I mean, I guess that would probably be more practical since this is the 21st century. Be like, hey, I'm going to a desert island. Cell phone, knife. Okay.
What I love about this question is the variety of answers that it brings. Kameron, you are just such a breath of fresh air, and you helped us to see that copywriting is doable. You've given us tools that we can use, things that we can apply right away. I'm going to be coming back to you with some feedback, and I hope that we hear feedback from those who listen. I want to thank you so much for being here on Marketing Launch Radio and for sharing your gift with the world. You take care, Kameron. Thank you. If you're listening to this, then you're probably in one of two scenarios. Either you're a woman with a great talent who's ready to launch your personal brand, but isn't quite sure how to take the next step, or you're running your own business, you've got some marketing happening, ads going, and content. Maybe you've even got an agency, but things aren't clicking just right, and you're trying to tie all the pieces together. Well, if you want my help or just want to get an idea of what it's like to work with me, then just go to unlockyourbrandnow.com. I believe in simplifying marketing and making it a process that's very, very easy. But I'm also on a mission to help every woman that I can launch her personal brand or her business brand in 21 days or less. So go to unlockyourbrandnow.com and go check it out.